So Bill Maher, a guy I thought was actually logical, consistent, and actually funny, but he's just been going down the drain so much the last few years. He's suffering from the Trump derangement syndrome, and his latest target. He couldn't even wait until it was a decent time. But no, he had to target Stan Lee. So let's actually read what Bill Maher said and unpack how the NPCs say it, what he actually said. Here we go. The guy who created Spider-Man and the Hulk has died. And America is in mourning. Deep, deep mourning for a man who inspired millions to, I don't know, watch a movie, I guess. Someone already posted, I'm so incredibly grateful I lived in a world that included Stan Lee. Personally, I'm grateful I lived in a world that included oxygen and trees. But to each his own. Now, I have nothing against comic books. I read them now and then. When I was a kid, I was all out of Hardy Boys. But the assumption everyone had back then, both the adults and the kids, was that comics were for kids. And when you grow up, you moved on to big boy books without the pictures. But then, 20 years ago or so, something happened. Adults decided they didn't have to give up kid stuff. And so they pretended comic books were actually sophisticated literature. And because America has over 4,500 colleges, which means we need more professors than we have smart people. Some dumb people got to be professors by writing theses with titles like Otherness and Heterodoxy in the Silver Surfer. And now, when adults are forced to do grown up things like buy auto insurance, they call it adulting and act like it's some giant struggle. I'm not saying we've necessarily gotten stupider. The average Joe is smarter in a lot of ways than he was in, say, 1940s, when a big night out was Three Stooges short and a Carmen Miranda musical. The problem is we're using our smarts on stupid stuff. I don't think it's a huge stretch to suggest that Donald Trump could only get elected in a country that thinks comics books are important. Okay. Where do I begin? These are only 3 paragraphs. And this is a clusterfuck. Sorry for swearing. But, okay. First of all, I can use the slippery slope fallacy just as good as he can. Why do we need comedy? Shouldn't everyone do adult stuff and watch Citizen Kane and go to the theater instead of listening to someone like Bill Maher on the TV blabbering on about retarded stuff like Donald Trump? See, this game everyone can play, and it's not a good argument to use. And why do you get to say what is acceptable to like in art? Like this is one of the stupidest arguments I've ever heard. Why do you on your self-righteous ass sitting on HBO and writing this garbage on being a higher than mighty and saying, oh, comic book, they're just a lower form of art? How the fuck do you get to decide that? Like, seriously, how do you get to decide that? Maybe I'm gonna decide, oh, your comedy is offensive, and you need to apologize for everything you ever done and stop being on HBO. Huh? Oh my God. So let's actually go back to what he said. Using the quote on Reddit, I'm so incredibly grateful I lived in a world that included Stan Lee. Personally, I'm grateful I lived in a world that included oxygen and trees. Like, what does that have to do with each other? You can appreciate both. And claiming that people were as dumber back then than they are now. You do realize there were very smart people that worked on the atomic bombs that were fighting in the Second World War. You have this mindset that we're suddenly smarter today just because we have more access to information. That's not necessarily true. Just because there is more information out there doesn't mean the average human being is smarter than before. I mean, people can't Google the simplest stuff and just use their own bias. If we're so goddamn smart, why does Antifa exist? Why does the alt right exist? Why do NPCs like you exist? And using the argument that comic books are basically are the people writing otherness and heterodoxy in the Silver Surfer. It's people on your side of the spectrum, maybe even a little bit further left, but you're getting really close now. You're getting really fucking close, because this is the regressive shit that I hate. Let people do whatever they want, and let the marketplace of ideas decide if it's good or not. Because comic books have existed for almost 100 years, and people like them, except for maybe the Marvel stuff for the last 10 years because they were going bankrupt. But people still like comic books. They like visual novels, and you on your goddamn throne of righteousness get to say, "Oh, I get to decide what is good or not." So we need more professors. It's professors in gender studies and shit like that that is making people more stupid, more indoctrinated, think less. The only way to become smarter is to challenge yourself. You can challenge yourself, maybe reading these, maybe reading comic books. Maybe you can watch a movie, broaden your horizon. Read a book. This is so stupid to base your argument on this, and you claim that some people got to be professors. Yeah, but these dumb professors come from a certain political bias, and that is the left, the regressive left, which I would say you're a part of now. And people should just be able to enjoy whatever they want, and you degrading. Sorry, I can't speak English, but going after someone like Stan Lee because people were appreciative. Now there is some issue if he wrote all the stuff he wrote. Maybe he took more credit than he should have, but that is beside the point. He was largely responsible of maybe hyping. If he didn't write, he was magnificent to hype his comics and just comic books in general. He was very appreciative to his fans. He was a big fan of his fans, really. Seeing the videos that have come out of him reminiscing and just talking how appreciative is about his fan. You're literally shitting on your audience, because I'm gonna bet that some people that watch you, they read comic books, but you on your regressive tirade just want to virtue signal and say, oh, we just need to be smarter, and comic books are just for stupid people. Grow the fuck up. This is so stupid. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.